Okay, so we'll get started. Hello, everyone. Good to see you on a bright, sunny morning in Shrewsbury. Bright, sunny, and 2 degrees. So a little bit chilly in the cabin. So I thought I'd talk this morning. For some reason, I gave it the title "Staying at the Bus Stop" rather than getting on the bus, and you'll see what I mean. So the big part of the practice, or one of the major parts of the practice, is identifying what we can call the poisons, klesha, or the negative mental events in the 51 mental events. But the broad categories: craving or greed, hatred, aversion, delusion, or ignorance. Yeah, so many manifestations, and the practice is not to directly make them go away, but to be aware, to bring right view and awareness to bear on these aspects of our experience. We're not pretending that they're not part of our experience. Um, but if we let them sort of run away with themselves, they cause a lot of suffering. So we see them mainly in relationship to uh, other things, to objects, not entirely. Sometimes greed will arise. We don't necessarily know what it's arising in relation to, or there'll be a bad mood. So aversion is there, but without a distinct sort of object. But on the whole, they arise in relation to um, something else, and it's a reaction in the mind, a reactivity growing in the mind. So we react with greed, or react with aversion, or we switch off, ignore delusion. So there we have the reactive mind, and that's a lot of what we're working with in practice. And the practice is to learn to watch what's happening without that automatic must get rid of this kicking in, or if we like it, the must have it, must bring it towards me. So learn to watch with a mind that's calm, that's open, that's receptive, that's benign, kindly awareness. Yeah, without that acting out, indulging, or suppressing and sort of shutting off or shutting down. So really, we're training in the mind being in this open to whatever it receives, whatever it receives in awareness. So it's helpful to check that relationship, check how we're relating to what's happening. Whether it's with greed or aversion, or with awareness and wisdom. So getting used to just looking into uh, this non-tangible thing that we call mind, uh, getting to see how we're relating to what's happening, and whether that relationship it is one of greed or aversion, or whether it's one that's just quite happy to let whatever experience is there be there and observe it, know it for what it is, um, and in that way, see what happens when we're really able to be with klesha, without that reactivity of the mind, which on the whole will tend to strengthen the klesha. So the reactive mind grows bigger. So I came across a little idea by Sayadaw U Tejaniya just very recently. And what he's saying is that the poison, what we're observing, can be quite small when we first notice it. And if we can just have this more benign attitude, the more benign awareness to what's happening, the klesha tends not to stick around. It will come and go like our experience generally does. But if two things, if delusion is stronger than awareness in that moment, then we won't have that sort of open, benign quality in the mind. There'll be all sorts of views about um, what's arisen, and that will tend to strengthen the klesha. But the other thing is, if the mind takes hold of the poison, if we add this sense of self and identify with it, or believe it, then it grows. And this is what Sayadaw's saying. This, if particularly around klesha, around taking hold of it, bringing self to, so what my anger says about me, how I feel about this thing that I want. So when that sort of more personal sort of attitude comes in, then the klesha tends to grow. Part of that is what I believe. So my beliefs around this. If I believe that I need pizza, chocolate, TV now, or that I need to be right in this discussion or argument that I'm having, those beliefs will also reinforce the reactivity in the mind. They'll reinforce the klesha. I remember Sayadaw saying, oh, wisdom always sees more than one answer, it always sees more than one possibility. But the reactive mind tends to sort of grab fast to this sort of more self-referential way of looking what I want, what I don't want, or I'm this kind of person. Don't tell me that I'm a different kind of person. You know, we can get into all sorts of um, further reactivity. So watch out for that. I think it can help us relax around klesha in the mind. If we see, oh, it's just something that's coming and going. There isn't a need to bring myself in here. Knowing if you remember that that will strengthen what's happening, it will further cause it to grow. Whether you um, are sort of on the greed side of that particular klesha or the aversive side where you don't want it to be there, that will also strengthen that sort of personalizing. Yeah, so just seeing if you can watch any manifestation of greed, aversion, delusion come without. I think sometimes we can have a fear in relation to things that perhaps we think shouldn't be there or we don't want to be there in our meditation. That meditation is not meant to have these kinds of things in them. But if we can sort of name that view somehow, then actually it's okay as long as those things are not in the mind that's observing, the aware mind. But they're just things arising. They're just objects happening in experience. Okay, so let's give it a go. You set yourselves up for sitting.